In the cold, dark sea of space, something enormous drifted between the stars. It was not a ship. It was not a planet. It was alive. The creature was called the Gorgath. Once it had ruled the sky of 1,000 worlds. Now it was dying. Its body was the size of a small moon, covered with plates of living metal. Long scars ran across its armor, glowing faint blue in the dark. Pieces of broken machines and shipwrecks floated around it, pulled in by weak gravity. A deep pulse came from inside the creature, slow, heavy, like the last heartbeat of a giant. Every few seconds a flash of red light blinked from one of its many eyes. Then silence again. Across the sector, alien ships kept their distance. Dozens of them, scientists, hunters, spies. They watched the dying beast, but none went closer. Too dangerous, one alien commander said. If it wakes, it will destroy everything again. For thousands of years, legends had told of the Gorgath, the living weapon of the old war. It had burned cities, crushed fleets, and eaten stars for fuel. But that was long ago. Now it drifted in silence, surrounded by those who feared it even in death. The Gorgath's body trembled. A low sound echoed through the void, like thunder rolling across space. Its core was failing, its power fading. Then suddenly a small signal blinked on every scanner nearby. Something was coming. Out of the black, a small human ship appeared. Tiny compared to the beast, its name shone on the hull, Dauntless. The other alien ships laughed when they saw it. "Humans?" one said with a sharp hiss. "They will die before they reach it." Another added, "Let them try. The beast will crush them like insects." But the humans didn't turn back. Inside the Dauntless, Captain Reyes stood by the window, staring at the massive shape ahead. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were not. "That's it," she said. "The Gorgath, a living relic from before our time." Her crew looked nervous. "Captain, it's not safe," said Lieutenant Parker. "Every sensor says that thing is unstable. It could explode any second." Reyes nodded slowly. "I know, but look at it, Parker. It's dying, alone." She turned to the others. "Tell me, how many ships came here just to watch it die?" "Dozens," Parker replied. "Exactly," Reyes said. "Everyone is watching. No one is helping." The bridge went quiet. Only the hum of the engines filled the room. Then the captain spoke again, her voice softer this time. "When Earth was dying, no one helped us either. But we survived, and because we helped ourselves. Maybe now it's time we do the same for someone else." Her words hung in the air, simple but powerful. The Dauntless moved forward. The alien ships backed away, whispering warnings through open channels. "The humans are mad. They'll bring death to all of us." But the humans did not listen. As the Dauntless drew closer, massive shadows moved across its windows. The Gorgath's body filled the view. Endless metal flesh, broken bones, strange alien marks glowing like fire under ice. The crew began scanning. "Captain, I'm reading life signs," Parker said. "Faint, but still there. How is that possible?" Someone whispered. On the screen, a slow pulse appeared. The creature's heart. Each beat sent shockwaves across space like ripples in water. "Prepare the drones," Reyes ordered. Tiny machines flew out of the ship, glowing blue as they approached the monster's surface. They sent back images, deep wounds, burnt circuits, and strange tubes leaking dark energy. It looked like a mix of flesh and machine, something alive but also built. The drones moved closer to one of the giant eyes. It was cracked and cold, but still glowing faintly inside. Suddenly it flickered, just once. The crew froze. "Did you see that?" Parker said. The light blinked again, brighter this time. Then a sound came through the comms, a deep broken voice. It was not human, not alien either. It was something ancient. "Who are you?" the voice said, slow and heavy. The crew stared at the speakers. Captain Reyes stepped closer to the mic. "We are from Earth," she said carefully. "We saw your signal. We came to help." The voice was silent for a long time. Then slowly it replied, "Help? Me?" The word sounded strange, like it didn't understand what it meant. Reyes nodded. "Yes, help." Another pause. Then the creature spoke again, weaker now. "No one ever helped. The dying beast." The captain looked out at it, sadness in her eyes. "Then maybe it's time someone did." The Gorgath's giant eye glowed softly, like a fading star finding strength again. A low rumble came from its chest, not anger but pain. It tried to move, but its body was too broken. The Dauntless held position, matching its slow rotation. Alarms beeped softly as energy waves pulsed through the area. Still, the humans didn't move away. Outside, the stars shimmered against the beast's dark shell. It looked peaceful for a moment, a sleeping titan waiting for the end. Then the scanners spiked. Something deep inside the creature began to glow, bright, wild, unstable. "Captain!" "I'm reading a surge," Parker shouted. Reyes watched as light spread through the creature's veins like fire waking in its blood. She whispered, "Easy, easy. We're here." The Gorgath's eye turned toward the ship, and then in a voice that shook the air itself, it spoke once more. "Why, do you help me?" The crew went silent. No one knew what to say. Outside, the dying beast floated quietly again, but now its heart was beating stronger. Something had changed, and somewhere far beyond the edge of the system, something heard that heartbeat. The message spread fast. Across human space, from Mars colonies to the far stations of the Rim, people watched the broadcast from the Dauntless. A living creature the size of a moon, a monster from old legends, was alive again. And humanity had found it. News channels repeated the same question. Why are humans helping it? Some called Captain Reyes a hero. Others called her a fool. In alien space, the reaction was worse. Leaders of other races sent warnings to Earth. "Leave the beast," they said. "You do not know what it is capable of." The Gorgath had destroyed entire fleets thousands of years ago. It was a weapon, not a life form. Helping it was madness. But Captain Reyes didn't listen to the fear. She watched the creature every day from the command window. It drifted slowly, weak but alive. Its eyes no longer glowed red. Now they were pale and calm, like fading suns. The Dauntless stayed close, sending repair drones to study the damage. They found huge scars of war, melted armor, torn wires, burned tissue. Inside those wounds, strange mechanical roots pulsed with faint light. It was half machine, half flesh, and it was old. Maybe older than human civilization itself. Reyes stood beside her science officer, Dr. Imani, as she watched the scans. "Look at this pattern," Imani said. "Its nervous system connects to metal implants. But they don't look natural." "Someone built these," Reyes frowned. "Built it? You mean this thing was created?" Imani nodded. "Yes, a bioweapon, but it evolved. It changed. The implants are rejecting their own systems. It's like the creature wants to live free." The captain said softly, "Maybe it doesn't want to be a weapon anymore." Later, Reyes recorded her report to Earth Command. Subject: The Gorgath show signs of intelligence and emotion. Communication is possible. It asked, "Why we help it?" She paused before sending. Her words felt heavy. She knew what Command might say. Sure enough, hours later, the reply came back. "Maintain distance. Do not engage further. Await fleet support." Reyes closed the message. "Fleet support means guns," she said quietly. Her crew exchanged uneasy looks. "Captain," said Parker, "maybe Command is right. We don't know what this thing really is. It could be dangerous." Reyes turned toward him. "Parker, when you see something bleeding in the dirt, do you shoot it or do you help it?" Parker hesitated. "Depends on what it is." Reyes smiled sadly. "That's the problem. Everyone decides who deserves mercy." Outside the window, the Gorgath's body floated in silence. Its breathing was slow but steady now. Drones had begun to restore some of the damaged energy veins, patching holes with plasma fields. Then something strange happened. The ship's lights flickered. The comms filled with static, a deep whispering voice. "Humans," it said, "you fix the pain." Reyes stepped closer to the mic. "Can you hear me, Gorgath?" There was a pause, then a slow reply. "Yes." "I hear." Small voices. The captain smiled faintly. "We're here to help you." The beast was silent for a long time, then said, "Long ago, I was born to kill. They made me destroy. I begged for rest. They gave me pain. The bridge went quiet. Every crew member listened. Who made you?" Reyes asked. The voice was weak. "Makers are gone, dead. By my hand. I was their mistake." Reyes felt something heavy in her chest. This creature, this monster, was not only dying, it was full of regret. "Then rest," she said softly. "Let us help you find peace." But the Gorgath answered, "Peace cannot come. Your help will wake them." Reyes frowned. "Wake who?" The voice faded. "The ones Who still sleep? In the dark. Static filled the comms again. Then silence. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. What does it mean, wake them? Parker asked. Imani checked her instruments. I don't know. But something deep in its body is reacting to our repairs. It's like... They signal. The readings showed faint energy pulses moving outward into space. Not random, but rhythmic, like a code. Reyes watched the monitor. Could we have triggered something? Maybe, Imani said quietly. We might not be the only ones listening anymore. Later that day, Earth Command sent a second message. Cease all assistance immediately. Alien monitoring stations report strange activity. Do not interfere further. But the captain ignored the order. She walked alone to the observation deck, looking out at the dying beast. Stars glowed behind it like dust on black glass. She whispered, You said helping you will wake them. Who are they, Gorgath? No answer came, but deep inside the creature lights flickered again, stronger this time. The rhythm in its chest quickened like a beating drum. A storm was forming, silent and unseen. The Dauntless stayed by its side through the night. Drones floated between the ship and the creature, repairing circuits sending energy. The humans didn't see the shadows moving in distant space. Far away, beyond sensor range, dark shapes began to rise, cold, sharp, and ancient. They had slept for centuries, waiting for a signal. Now the signal had come. On the Dauntless, Captain Reyes didn't know it yet. She only saw the creature breathing easier, its wounds closing little by little. Her crew smiled, proud of their work. For a moment, everything felt right. Reyes looked at the glowing eye of the beast and whispered, You're going to be okay. But the Gorgath's voice echoed faintly through the comms once more. They are coming. The captain's smile faded. Who's coming? She asked, no reply. Only the sound of deep breathing through the static. Outside, the stars around them began to move. Not stars at all, but ships. Hundreds of them. And humanity's choice was about to face its first test. Darkness moved across the stars. At first, the crew of the Dauntless thought it was just dust or a field of asteroids. But then the radar screens began to scream. One by one, new signals appeared. Dozens, then hundreds. Lieutenant Parker stared at the display. Captain, I think they're ships. Captain Reyes stepped forward, her eyes cold and focused. Identify them. I can't, Parker said. No transponders, no radio signals, just silence. Dr. Imani's voice trembled. So they're coming from the direction where the Gorgath signals were sent? The captain looked at the giant creature, floating outside. Gorgath, she said into the comms. Who are they? The deep, broken voice came slowly. My creators, the makers. They come to claim what is theirs. The bridge fell silent. No one spoke. The Gorgath continued, voice weak but heavy with fear. I tried to sleep. I tried to forget them. But your help, your kindness, woke my pain. And now they come to finish what they began. Reyes clenched her fists. You're saying they built you, and now they want to destroy you again? Yes, the creature replied. They will not allow me to be free. The crew exchanged looks of disbelief. The aliens who had made this beast were still out there, alive. Outside, the darkness grew thicker. Shapes began to form, black ships sleek and sharp like blades cutting through the void. Each one moved in perfect silence. No light, no signal, no sound, Parker whispered. They're ancient, but still active. The Dauntless shook as a wave of static passed through its hull. Every system flickered. Something or someone was scanning them. Shields up, Reyes ordered. All hands on alert. The Gorgath stirred, massive shadows moving across its body. It turned its head slightly, its glowing eyes watching the incoming fleet. Do not fight them, it said softly. They will destroy you. Reyes looked out the window, then back at the comms. Maybe, she said, but we don't abandon our friends. The Gorgath was silent for a long moment. Then a low, strange sound came from it. Not anger, not pain. Something like sorrow. You would die. For a monster? It asked. Reyes answered simply, No, for a life that deserves a second chance. Far in the distance, a voice came through the speakers. Cold, metallic, emotionless. This is the dominion of the Makers. Identify yourself or be erased. Reyes replied, This is Captain Elena Reyes of the human ship Dauntless. We are on a rescue mission. Rescue? The voice repeated, almost mocking. That creature is not alive. It is property. It is a weapon that defied its purpose. You will leave this sector immediately. Reyes took a deep breath. With respect, sir, we don't leave the dying behind. The response was instant. Then you will join it in death. Every radar lit up. The black ships began to move, hundreds of them forming a circle around the Gorgath and the Dauntless. Captain, Parker shouted. They're charging weapons. The crew scrambled. Alarms blared. Shields flared bright blue. Then suddenly a massive burst of energy surged from the Gorgath's chest. It wasn't an attack, it was pain. The creature screamed, a deep cosmic sound that shook every atom in the air. Waves of light rippled from its body, striking the enemy ships and blinding their sensors. Reyes shouted over the noise, "What's happening?" Imani yelled, "It's reacting to the attack. The energy we restored. It's waking up parts of its system." The ship trembled as the Gorgath's heart glowed brighter, like a star about to be born. Power surged through its veins, lines of blue fire crawling over its armor. "I'm detecting massive energy buildup," Parker shouted. "If it keeps rising, it could explode." The Gorgath's voice echoed again, stronger this time. "No, not explode, awake." And then everything stopped. For a second, space itself went quiet. No light, no movement, just silence. Then the Gorgath opened its eyes fully, coming all 12 of them, glowing with white fire. Its voice thundered through the void. "I can't remember." Energy burst from its body like lightning tearing through the darkness. The black ships were thrown back, shields breaking apart. The Dauntless was hit by the shockwave. Alarms screaming, lights flickering. But Reyes held her ground. "Imani, what's happening?" Imani's eyes widened. "It's rewriting its body, repairing itself using our energy." The Gorgath's broken armor closed, its wounds sealed. The metal plates realigned like puzzle pieces, finding their place. The dying beast was no longer dying. It was awakening. The alien fleet pulled back slightly, uncertain now. Their scanners couldn't read the creature's power. The Gorgath looked at the Dauntless. "Human, your kindness gave me life again. But now I must protect you." Reyes shook her head. "No, you're still weak." But it didn't listen. Wings of metal unfolded from its sides, massive structures that stretched for kilometers. The stars disappeared behind them. In the distance, the alien commander's voice returned. "You cannot resist us, abomination. You belong to the Makers." The Gorgath's reply was simple but powerful. "I belong to no one." The creature unleashed a beam of pure light, silent, endless, unstoppable. It tore through the first line of enemy ships, shattering them like glass. The Dauntless watched in awe and terror as the battle began. The Gorgath, once a dying monster, now roared like a living god. Each breath of its energy lit up space with violent beauty. And yet, deep inside, the creature's heart trembled with sorrow. For every enemy it destroyed, a memory returned, of war, of blood, of loneliness. When the light finally faded, the first wave of the enemy fleet was gone. But thousands more were still coming. The Dauntless floated in the creature's shadow, systems failing, shields flickering. Reyes whispered, "What have we done?" The Gorgath turned its burning eyes toward the stars and said quietly, "The past has awakened." The sky was burning. The once silent stars were now filled with war. Thousands of ships, dark as shadow, firing streams of light across space. The Gorgath moved slowly between them. Its giant wings spread like a mountain of metal and flesh. Each breath from its core sent shockwaves through the void. The Dauntless flew close to it, a tiny ship beside a giant god. Captain Reyes gripped the edge of the console. "Status!" she shouted. "Shields down to 40%. Parker yelled back. "Weapons overheating. We can't take another hit." The ship shook again as plasma bolts exploded nearby. Sparks flew across the bridge. Reyes steadied herself, her eyes fixed on the massive creature outside. The Gorgath roared, a sound that wasn't just heard, but felt. It vibrated through the bones, through the metal. Its voice filled every speaker on the ship. "They will not stop," it said. "The Maker's fleet grows stronger. I can feel them, feeding on my energy." Dr. Imani looked at her readings. "He's right. They're using a parasitic link. Every time he attacks, they drain some of his power." Reyes frowned. "Then we need to break the link. But how?" Parker shouted. "We're ants in a hurricane." Reyes didn't answer. She stared at the creature's glowing chest. at the energy core they had repaired. Her mind raced. Then she turned to Imani. What if we reverse the flow? Make his energy surge back into them instead of out. Imani's eyes widened. That could work, but it'll burn out his heart. The Gorgath's voice came again, calm but heavy. If it saves you, then let it burn. Reyes looked at the monitor, at the massive eye that watched her gently. No, she said. We don't sacrifice anyone. Not even you. The creature's voice was soft now. You already have. Your kindness woke a war that should have stayed asleep. The captain's jaw tightened. Maybe. But we don't walk away from what we start. Outside, the dark fleet moved closer, surrounding them completely. The largest of the enemy ships approached, black, spiked, covered with glowing red lines. A voice echoed across all channels, cold and merciless. This ends now. Return the weapon or die with it. Reyes pressed the comms button. This isn't your weapon anymore, the voice hissed. Then you die first. The enemy ship opened fire. A storm of red energy crashed into the Gorgath's side. The creature screamed, twisting in pain. Pieces of armor flew off like shards of stars. Captain! Parker shouted. He's losing power fast. Reyes looked out at the dying beast, the same one she had tried to save, and she knew what she had to do. She turned to her crew. Prepare to link our reactor with the Gorgath's core. Parker's eyes went wide. That's insane. We'll overload. Do it, she said firmly. If he falls, we all fall. But if we stand together, maybe we stand a chance. Imani nodded slowly. Our shared energy field could stabilize him and amplify his power. The crew got to work. Wires sparked. Panels hummed. The Dauntless reactor began to glow bright blue. Reyes looked out one last time. Gorgath, can you hear me? Yes, the deep voice replied. We're linking to you. You're not alone anymore. For the first time, the creature's voice carried something strange, something almost like hope. Then let us fight together. The connection activated. A beam of blue light shot from the Dauntless to the Gorgath's chest, fusing their energies. The lights inside both beings flared. Man and monster, machine and life, bound as one. The alien fleet began to fire again, thousands of red beams raining down. But this time the Gorgath didn't fall. It raised its wings, glowing brighter than any sun. The energy from the Dauntless surged through its veins. The dying beast was no longer dying. It was alive and angry. It unleashed a blast so powerful that it tore through the center of the enemy formation. Ships exploded like glass under fire. The void turned white with light. The crew cheered as the wave cleared, but Imani's face was pale. Captain, his heart can't hold this power for long, Reyes whispered. Just a little longer. The Gorgath spoke again, voice full of both strength and sorrow. I remember this feeling. I was born for war, but I will end it. For you. The creature spread its wings wider, gathering every drop of energy left. The Dauntless lights dimmed. Systems flickered. Captain, we're losing power. Parker shouted. Reyes didn't move. Stay with him. The Gorgath roared one final time, a sound of pain and pride. A massive pulse erupted from its heart, spreading across the battlefield like a tidal wave. Every enemy ship caught in the blast disintegrated, turning into dust and light. The dark fleet was gone. Only silence remained. The Dauntless floated in the quiet aftermath, drifting through fields of glowing debris. Reyes looked out at the Gorgath, its body motionless, its lights fading. She reached for the comms. Gorgath, do you hear me? No answer, Imani whispered. He's gone. Reyes closed her eyes, her voice trembling. He saved us. A faint hum echoed through the ship's speakers, weak but still there. The Gorgath's voice soft as wind. Humanity. Finish what I could not. Then the light inside its chest faded completely. The crew sat in silence. No one spoke. Outside, the body of the great creature floated quietly, lit by the dying fire of the battle. For a moment it looked peaceful, as if it had finally found the rest it had been denied for ages. Reyes stood by the window and whispered, You weren't a monster. You were just alone and in that endless sea of stars. The humans drifted beside their fallen friend, knowing that something much larger than them had just begun. The war was over. For the first time in days, the stars were calm again. No explosions, no screams over comms, only silence. The Dauntless drifted among the wreckage, surrounded by fragments of the enemy fleet that once filled the sky. The void, once burning, was now peaceful. Captain Reyes stood at the observation window. Her eyes were tired, red from sleepless hours. In the distance, the Gorgath's body floated quietly, a giant shadow against the light of a dying sun. Its chest no longer glowed. Its wings hung still. "He's gone," whispered Parker softly. "Completely." Reyes didn't answer. She just stared at the motionless giant. Dr. Imani came to her side. "Sensors show minimal energy left in its core, just background radiation." She paused. "But the readings are strange. It's not fading. It's steady." Reyes looked up. "Steady?" Imani nodded slowly. "Yes, like a heartbeat that refuses to stop." Reyes turned back toward the creature. The faintest spark glimmered inside its chest, barely visible like a dying ember. "But it was there. Prepare a beacon," Reyes said quietly. "We're not leaving him here." The Dauntless began transmitting a message to Earth. "Mission complete. Enemy fleet destroyed. Gorgath neutralized. Request recovery team." But to the captain, the word neutralized didn't feel right. She whispered under her breath, "Not destroyed. Just sleeping." Days passed. The Dauntless was joined by other human ships, rescue crews, scientists, historians. Together they built a small research station near the Gorgath's body. They called it Sanctuary 1. Reporters from across human space came to see it. Everyone had an opinion. Some said the Gorgath was a monster that almost brought ruin. Others called it a hero that saved humanity. But when people looked upon its giant form, still, peaceful, and surrounded by the silence of stars, most said nothing at all. Inside the new station, children of the crew walked through the observation deck, staring out the window at the creature. One little girl pointed. "Is it sleeping?" she asked. Captain Reyes smiled faintly. "Maybe," she said. "Some things sleep for a long time before they wake again." The child thought for a moment. "Why did we help it?" Reyes looked out at the stars. "Because no one else would." Weeks later, scientists discovered something inside the Gorgath's remains, a strange structure deep in its core. It wasn't a weapon or a machine. It was a memory crystal filled with data. It held images, sounds, and words from thousands of years ago. They decoded it slowly, and what they found changed everything. The Gorgath had been created by an ancient race, the Makers, to fight their wars. But in its final message, the creature had turned against its masters. It had destroyed them to stop their endless battles. The crystal's final log showed a single sentence, written in an unknown language. But when translated, it said, "Mercy is stronger than creation." When Reyes read it, she felt tears in her eyes. It was proof that even a weapon could choose compassion. Months passed. A monument was built around the Gorgath's heart, a massive station shaped like a ring orbiting its silent body. They called it the Sanctuary of the Gorgath. It became a place of peace, open to every race, human and alien alike. Pilgrims came to see the beast that humans had tried to save. Some came out of curiosity, others to offer respect. The Gorgath's massive form became a symbol, not of war, but of redemption. At the center of the monument, engraved on a silver wall, were the captain's words. When everyone turned away, humanity stepped forward. One quiet night, Captain Reyes returned alone to the observation deck. She looked out at the stars, the same stars that once burned with fire. She whispered, "I hope you found peace, old friend." The room was silent, but as she turned to leave, a faint sound echoed through the station, soft, rhythmic, and familiar. Imani's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, are you hearing this?" Reyes stopped. "Hearing what?" "The signal," Imani said. "It's coming from the Gorgath's core." Reyes rushed back to the window. The faint ember inside the creature's chest glowed brighter, just for a moment. The rhythm was steady now, slow, calm, alive. Parker's voice joined the channel. "It's a heartbeat," Reyes smiled softly. "I knew it." The heartbeat faded again, but the signal didn't stop. It changed into a series of repeating pulses like coordinates. Imani's voice trembled. "It's sending something, somewhere out there." Reyes looked out at the black horizon beyond the stars. "Where?" she asked quietly. The answer came through the static. "Unknown. Deep space. Beyond all mapped regions." The room went silent again. Everyone stared at the glowing point in the distance. Finally Reyes spoke. Send a copy to Earth Command. And mark the coordinates, Parker turned. You think it's calling for help? Rhea shook her head slowly. No, I think it's calling someone home. Outside, the stars shimmered faintly, as if answering the call. The Gorgoth's chest glowed one last time, bright, pure, and full of quiet power. Then it faded again into stillness. The Dauntless, now docked at the sanctuary, drifted silently beside it. The great beast, the last of its kind, slept once more but not forgotten, and somewhere far beyond the edge of known space. Another heartbeat answered.